That protein shake though. What up, guys? Damn, I haven't had a protein shake in a long time. Trying some for the first time in a few months, actually. Protogen from bodybuilding.com. Shout out to Kate for hooking it up with the samples. Just, testing some flavors, see if I like them, get back in the groove of things. Just been eating my protein sources. It's good for a change, but what I wanted to do here in this video is, why do I sound nasally? Oh, check it out. Dedicated for Life, Team Furious. Picked that up in Germany when I was chilling with Furious Pete at the Gymshark booth. And that's what I wanted to touch base on, guys, is the trip to Germany. I wanted to show you guys love for being there. Anybody who came out, anybody who, said what's up, wherever it was that we were in Germany traveling, whether it was the airport, out in Germany, out and about, or at the Expo itself. It was a crazy, crazy event, and I kind of regretted not making a video like this for the Arnold, which is the last biggest event we did. But we flew out to Germany to do the FIBO Expo this past weekend. I flew out with Matt, Christian, and Christian Guzman came out with Vince Garza. They met up and they came out to Germany as well. Furious Pete and Mark Fitt came from Canada. Very cool guys. And then we met up with the Gymshark crew out there. Gymshark crew meaning, the two owners and then their friends / co-workers, guys that work for Gymshark out in the UK. So we all of us flew to Germany and met up there and just had some epic times. It was a crazy weekend. Basically what happened was Matt and I were scheduled to fly out Tuesday from San Francisco at around 4 p.m. And take a direct flight, an 11-hour flight to Frankfurt, Germany, and then take an hour train to Cologne, which is where the Expo was going to be, which is where our hotel was. But what happened was we got to the airport, and apparently the Lufthansa pilots, which is the airline that we were going to fly with, were on strike. So a pilot strike for an airline. So that's crazy. So everybody was there. It was just a wreck. The airline was trying to figure out what to do. They were taking everybody on a case-by-case basis and taking our tickets and actually seeing what airline they could get us on to get us out to where we needed to be, to our final destination. So we were in contact with Gymshark and letting them know that there might be a chance that we might not even be, make it on a flight out there. So luckily we did. Instead of being one flight and then an hour train ride, it was actually way worse. We had to take a plane from San Francisco to London, UK, and then from London another plane to Munich, Germany, and then from Munich, Germany, another plane to Cologne, which is where we were going to be, with a few hours in between layover and stuff like that. So basically, we left San Francisco Tuesday at around 5 p.m. And we arrived in the city in Germany where we needed to be at our hotel about 6 to 7 p.m. Wednesday, the next day. So that screwed up the schedule, our internal schedules, and just, yeah. So it didn't start off on a good note, but obviously there's like 9-hour difference between Germany and California, but still it was a journey. So we got there, we got to sleep the first night, 7-8 hours, which is good. And then Thursday was the beginning of the Expo, so we didn't really have time to do anything before the Expo days started. Thursday morning, we all met up for breakfast. This was the routine every day. We met up for breakfast at 8 in the morning. The all you can eat in the German hotel. Got a lot of food in because we wouldn't be eating throughout the day, and headed to the Expo. Thursday was pretty crazy. Friday was pretty crazy, but they were corporate days, or basically people who had hookups or people who were affiliated with companies were the only people able to go. And I didn't think the tickets were sold out for Thursday and Friday, but apparently what I had heard was Saturday and Sunday was sold out for the FIBO Expo, meaning they weren't selling any more tickets. And that was crazy to me because I've never heard of an expo not selling tickets anymore, especially an expo of that caliber. Apparently it's the biggest expo in the world from what I've heard, and after seeing, I can believe it. There's like 10 different halls and it's a 4-day expo. But basically what that meant was there was going to be at least 4 times the amount of people that we saw on Thursday and Friday come on Saturday and Sunday. So I was like, you know, we'll see. Thursday and Friday were just, you know, good traffic. You know, sales were done at the Gymshark booth, and you know, we had good times. But none of us, except for maybe Pete, because he had been there before, expected the traffic that we got on Saturday. It was complete carnage at the Gymshark booth. We didn't even have a good location, and in one massive record-breaking day at a Gymshark booth, Gymshark actually sold out of a majority of everything on Saturday. It looked like we got stampeded by, oh my god, it was insane. Matt and I were talking to, you know, Legends of Aesthetics supporters, YouTube supporters, anybody who, you know, even comments or writes us or talks to us on any social media platform that was there to have a good time, and we were having a very good time as well. You know, despite being tired, but that's what we were there for. So it was an amazing time. We were there, I'd say, from 9 in the morning until about 6 p.m. Didn't have anything but a sip of water, honestly. That's why we were eating a lot in the mornings, but same thing happened on Sunday. It was just non-stop having fun with people, epic times, pictures, conversations, signing crazy things we've never signed before. But really, it was just nothing but good times. I was fortunate to share, you know, good times with not only the supporters, but to share good times with the new Gymshark family. You know, every year it just gets better and better, and every trip we make gets better and better. So I want to show love to, you know, first of all, Ben and Lewis, the owners of Gymshark, for having us out and, you know, believing in us since day one and growing to the level that they have. So I'm very proud of Gymshark itself. I'm proud of the people that, you know, they're bringing on to grow the Gymshark family. First time, you know, having Pete join the Gymshark family, Furious Pete, Mark Fit from Montreal, Canada. The Swole Nerd, Vince G, very cool guy. Got the inside scoop on him, and I'll talk about that. I'll talk about everybody in a little bit here. Who do we? Obviously Matt, my partner in crime. I love the guy. And then we had Christian Guzman. Met him on a couple occasions. You know, first time at the Arnold. So very genuine kid, very young but motivational. He's got his head on straight. So. And then the whole Gymshark, UK Gymshark crew, I love those guys. It's just a big group of people from different countries and different places. We just get together, and it's almost like we've been friends for years. And then we just go out there to kill and have a good time, you know. Yeah, Furious Pete, man, very down to earth, more so than I would have even imagined. I didn't really imagine anything, but he just came off as a really real person. So I was glad to have him there. A little bit of a change, being that, you know, he's a competitive eater, and that's kind of where his fame came from. And then he started doing, you know, weightlifting and things like that. And you know, he was recognized, and luckily he joined the team. But he's actually huge. I didn't know he was that big in person. He's massive. He's like 6 feet. Guns are huge. Just really big guy, funny guy. But down to earth, you know. Had a few good conversations with Pete. So shout out to Pete. Keep doing your thing, man. I'll be seeing you in 5 weeks, as well as everybody else at Body Power UK. Like I said, Christian Guzman, young kid, motivational kid. I was very happy to see, you know, see his fans, interact with him in Germany. You know, he's made very big strides in a short amount of time, so I'm very proud of that kid and what he's done. You know, I believed in you, Christian, for a while. Keep doing your thing. It's going to keep growing. Like I said, we're going to keep growing together, man. Mark Fit from Canada. I didn't really know about him prior to this expo, which is crazy because after, you know, doing a little research, I see that he has a crazy following. He has a lot. I mean, a combined following, I'd say close to 1 million followers, which is, I'm surprised I hadn't heard of him, right? Maybe because he was based in Canada, but I like to describe him as the George St. Pierre of fitness. He sounds like George St. Pierre when he talks. He's from the same place George St. Pierre is from. If you guys aren't aware, George St. Pierre is the you know, the welterweight world champion for the UFC, or he has held that title for a long time. role model of mine since before he even started in the UFC. I used to be a lot into mixed martial arts. I used to do it myself before I got into bodybuilding. But, you know, very calm, composed, smart, but aside from that, just genuinely good. It's hard to describe. Nothing. It's almost like there's nothing but good that comes from Mark as a person. So he's. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he doesn't have good times, doesn't joke around with us or have a good time. But he wants nothing but good for his followers and his supporters. And his support in Germany was pretty crazy. And I was happy to see him interact with, you know, his fans and make the girls melt. Because he's got them facial aesthetics, he's got the body aesthetics, he's got a real marketable physique. You know, he's not the Jay Cutler or the Phil Heath, but he's nice and lean and good. You know, good balance everywhere. He's a motivational person, and I'm assuming that's a lot of what his website has to do with too. His membership site is motivation and putting people on the right track. He doesn't compete. He doesn't. I don't think he does like one-on-one coaching or anything. But it's a really. He's a really motivational person and a positive person for anybody who follows him. And after meeting him in person and seeing what he's really like, he's funny. He's a really good dude, and he actually really does care for every single one of his supporters. And don't take any of that motivation and care that he shows for granted, or think that it's just behind the camera, because that guy really loves his followers. So very good guy, Mark Fit. Excited that he joined the Gymshark family. Very, very good addition. You know, marketable, but other than that, just somebody good to hang out with. Yeah, so that was someone I met for the first time. Vince G. I've met Vince before at expos and stuff like that and taken some pictures, but I never really got a chance to hang out with him. Vince was he was unique. He was unique, but a good person, a very good dude is what I got from Vince. I was glad that he opened up to the Gymshark family as much as he did, you know, on the first experience. I didn't know what to expect. I'm glad he made the trip to Germany, and I'm glad that we could see the real side of Vince. He shared some things with us and some information and some just some stuff that was pretty damn funny. And it just, you know, it just brought it full circle. We were all laughing and having a good time. Yeah, it's hard to explain without giving details, and the details are something that I might want to leave for him to tell you, or he might have some footage of it. But we were having a good time. It was just some epic times, and yeah, Vince is a good dude. Vince is a good dude. Glad that he came aboard, and he's bringing us, you know, that swole, awkward nerd side of things over to the UK and Germany. So anyway, good people. And Matt, I don't gotta say anything about Matt, man. I love Matt. That's why he's my partner in crime. That's why we're doing LOA, and that's why man, I don't gotta say anything else about Matt. We're one big Gymshark family. I love the Gymshark family. Ben and Lewis are amazing. The two owners and founders of Gymshark. They're younger than me, and they're younger than Matt even. And these guys are running a multi-million-dollar company in a matter of two and a half years when it started. 2.5 years ago when it started. So these guys do not stop grinding. They are very good at what they do. Very strong social media power. Very good products, and that's going to continue to grow because it's a solid business. We're actually talking about some potential plans of bringing a retail Gymshark store to the States, potentially after they go to Australia. So let me know about your thoughts about that, and where, especially if you're in California, where you think might be a prime location. I think that could be a very big, successful thing, you know, so that way people in the States can get their hands on Gymshark gear a little bit easier, and wherever else they decide to go. So shout outs to the Gymshark family. Shout outs to everybody who made it out to Germany. And the FIBO Expo, it was absolutely insane. I didn't know that there were that many hundreds of thousands of people that were going to come out. For people to come out and say, dude, your guys' line is 10 times longer than Ronnie Coleman's and Phil Heath's combined. It was just, it blows my mind, you know. I'm glad people can relate on that level. I'm glad people can come out and, you know, share some good times. And I know English isn't the primary language out there, so I know it takes some balls to come up and talk to us, but what I was telling everybody is that their English is way better than our German, because we didn't have a clue of what we were saying. So yeah, props to that. Thanks for every picture, you know, we took. Everything, epic. But yeah, man, I'm excited for the growth of Gymshark, excited for the growth of Legends of Aesthetics. I'm excited for the growth of the family that we've all created, whether it's, like I said, Gymshark, Team Legends, anything. We're all one big family. We're all, you know, aiming to improve with our physiques, but just as people as well, putting the right message out there, never selling out. It's just the name of the game. So thank you guys for coming out. That's a little recap on some of the people that we were with, some of the experiences that we had. It was just, I mean, we flew in, had 4 days of the expo, and then flew out the next morning. So we didn't even get to have a drink. The only drink I had was one Budweiser on the plane on the way back home with Matt, and that's because the flight attendant bought it for us. Luckily, it was one flight and a train ride, just like it was supposed to be on the way there. But yeah, on the way back, the pilots weren't actually striking anymore, so we got lucky. There's a recap. FIBO 2014 in the books. Epic. Can't wait to go. See you guys next year. 5 weeks is the Body Power Expo in the UK, so we will all be there again. Furious Pete, Christian Guzman, Mark Fit, Vince G, myself, Matt Ogus, the Gymshark crew, anybody else that I missed. But it's going to be epic times again. We will have some limited edition clothing from Legends of Aesthetics. Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring some stuff to Germany, but we will be bringing some stuff to the UK. Yeah. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to my 16-minute video. Damn, I make these long. But either way, haters gonna hate. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.